Happy New Year.
I don't know about you. So ready for 2022.
Yeah, I feel like 2022 is going to be our year.
Hell yeah.
Hell
the girls
girl.
are ready. I'm ready.
My girls are hurting right now.
And if you're watching this, I can't get over my eyes right now. I was telling Alexa, they're bloodshot in this camera only. So, I'm okay.
It's all good.
We're good.
All good.
So, okay, let me ask. Are you a New Year's resolution person?
No, I'm not, because I feel like you are kind of setting yourself up for failure.
Right.
And for those that like succeed at that, good for you. But I feel like people are like, okay, I'm going to lose 20 pounds in 30 days type of thing.
Yeah.
And that never happens. Like, you need to set realistic New Year's goal.
Right.
Like a New Year goal or like a couple of goals that are achievable. So, yeah, like when I think of like resolutions, I'll say, okay, I need to deep clean my house, or I need to, I don't know, maybe start getting into yoga again. But something that's like achievable.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
No, totally. I'm the same way. I feel like New Year's resolutions are propaganda for gyms to get more money.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Well, and it's like there's some statistic that's like 80% of resolutions fail because you jump into something that's long term and expect immediate results. But I just like to envision my entire year, what I want to accomplish. So like there's a few places I want to travel this year.
Absolutely.
And as cliche, okay, so hopefully get to go to Greece. I'm really hoping that if all of this COVID shit can just calm down for 2 weeks, I'll get to go to Greece.
Okay.
I want to go to the mountains. I've never been to the mountains. And
okay, well, that's where we are going to go for our girls' trip.
Yes.
So I've already, figured it out.
Oh, my God.
So I hope you're ready.
Duh. My bag's already packed.
All right, bet.
So, but no, this year, and as cliche as this sounds, I'm really gonna find my love of health again. Eating, exercising, doing all the things I should. But I'm not giving myself any, due date, because then I know I'll get, stressed out, so.
Oh, for sure. That's the thing. Set goals for the year, but don't set, New Year resolution goals that are just not achievable.
Right. So leave a comment. Let us know if you do or don't do resolutions and what they are or are not.
Yeah, and if they are successfall or not.
Sorry, I'm still halfway getting ready. I had to fix my nose ring there. I'm adjusting. Whew, okay.
All right. What are you drinking?
Okay, I hope you approve.
I'm very curious.
I recently discovered ranch water.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So my sister got me this glass. It says liquid therapy. It's kind of hard to read.
Cute.
But I was at this bar and I was like, I really just want the healthy version of a margarita. So tequila, lime juice, and maybe a little club soda in there. And they're like, oh, that's a ranch water. I was like, there's a name for this. So I've been drinking that for a week now. And then I threw in some
all the time.
Threw in some blackberry juice too.
Nice.
So what are you sipping on?
I made myself a spiked coffee out of our cute little Something Sinister.
Love it.
All-seeing eye mug. It's just coffee with amaretto and whipped cream.
Yum. That sounds great. So, while we get this pulled up, is there anything else? I guess drinking word? What are we,
Yes. Okay, so I've been thinking about this all day, and I think it's going to be children. Children or kid or kids or child, that type of word.
That should
I feel
be
like
good.
That would be good.
That should be good. So, today we're doing the story of Krampus. We are ending our 12 days of Christmas with the all-time favorite Krampus.
Yes.
Just a bit of a backstory. I think it was like one of the very first times we hung out. We weren't like established friends yet. And I don't even know what got us on the topic, but I like Krampus nerded out telling you guys this story. And
you did. Yep, you did. Oh, I loved it. I loved every bit of it.
I'm honored to be telling this story today.
I know.
So
I'm honored to hear it.
Oh, get ready. So, our videos and podcasts are for entertainment purposes. All information discussed was found on the internet. Keep in mind, we'll talk all things sinister that may not be suitable for all audience. Viewer discretion and listener discretion is advised. Let me get this going. So, I wrote myself like a little introduction just to make it spicy right off the bat.
Perfect.
Consider this your official warning. Be nice, or else you'll be receiving more than just a lump of coal in 2022. Saint Nick's demon-like sidekick who will beat and torture your ill-behaved, disobedient children, or worse, drag them straight to hell. Right off the bat. Okay, remember guys, children, kids.
Child.
So we're talking about Krampus. Like I said,
Yes.
demon-like, and this Krampus sent me on like a rabbit hole of other evil versions of Saint Nick, and then it also sent me on like this religious rabbit hole of dates.
Oh my gosh.
So this is a doozy. But Krampus, this is a very popular European legend. It is celebrated today. We'll get more into how they celebrate it in modern times. But it's said to have originated in like the Austria-German area.
Okay.
Now, as far as how back this goes, it is a little unknown. I tried to piece this together, but some say it does predate Saint Nicholas, which was based in Catholicism, the Saint Nicholas. Yep. And so what I was reading is it predates European Christianity. So if you try and wrap your head around that idea, it is really hard to date when Christianity started, because if you ask a Christian, they're going to say, well, that dates back to the beginning of time. Right. And then if you, like, okay, for example, I put, like, who founded Catholicism? And it said Jesus.
So, yeah, if that tells you anything, you have no idea when Krampus
So I was like,
was originated.
Okay, well, that's a little bias.
Yeah.
But if we're going to put a realistic timeline on it, we're going back to 12th century. So 1100 to 1200. So really far back. So still very, very old. And it does predate, I guess, what we would consider modern Western Christianity. So think of it in that way. I made myself a note. I invite you to go down the rabbit hole of dates and religious founding dates. It's too much. It was like, I was even asking Nick, because Nick went to Bible college, and I was like, if I asked you who the founder of Catholicism was, would you guess it was Jesus? No. Yeah. Like, come on.
What did he say?
He said he has no idea. And so I said, if I said that Krampus originated in the 12th century, would you say that predates European Christianity? And he's like, no. European Christianity has basically always been a thing for Europeans. Then you get into like, well, when did modern civilization occur in Europe? And it, again, rabbit hole. Don't go down it unless you have like 48 hours.
Okay.
So.
Got it.
Anyways, I found it really interesting. So it's thought that Krampus, even though later became part of a Christian symbol, that it was part of pagan rituals during the winter solstice. Okay. And which I had to look up when like winter solstice was considered, and around the onset of winter around December 21st. So that's why it's occurring around Christmas. The name Krampus derives from a German word Krampen, which means claw. Oh. So that's scary.
That's terrifying.
Yep. Also, another great drinking word would have been the word sometimes, because there are so many versions of Krampus. I'm going to say sometimes he's like this, sometimes he's like that, sometimes it's this. So we're getting into that right now. He's sometimes black and he's sometimes brown.
All right.
Overall, he is a half goat, half demon, or like half man. So...
Ooh. Do you have a picture to show the viewers?
Shoot. You
want me to find
you
one?
pull it up.
Okay.
I'm going to continue describing him.
Okay.
He sometimes carries a long chain. He's got horns, a long tongue. There's hooves. And yeah, there you go.
Woo!
So more of he's kind of all three, goat, demon, and man.
Yeah, creepy.
Very scary.
Stuffing children away.
Oh, yeah. Which is probably... Oh, shit. Which is probably one of the nicer of the things that he does, is just stuff you into a bag.
Yeah, okay.
So, in that picture that Alexa just showed, he had, like, basically the waist down of a goat, so, like, hooves. Sometimes, though, for whatever reason, he's got one hooved foot and one human foot. So that's interesting. Yeah. Usually has fangs. He carries a branch bundle so that he can, or like some sort of whip to like beat kids with. Drink again. And sometimes carries a sack or a basket. It often resembles St. Nicholas's bag of toys.
Okay.
But this is where he stuffs the children so he can carry them off to the underworld.
Okay. So instead of bringing them toys, he's taking them to take them to hell.
Yes. And I will say this. Most stories, Krampus does accompany St. Nick. So whatever your feelings are of Santa, Santa's not completely innocent in this story.
Okay.
Let's begin.
It's going to be interesting.
Yes.
Woo!
Yes. So now we've got the full picture. So according to legend, Krampus is the son of Hel, spelled Hel, the Norse god of the underworld. So I guess like a Hades or a Satan. Mm-hmm. He is the son of Satan. Krampus and Saint Nick, all together as a team, are said to arrive on the evening of December 5th, which is Krampus night, or Krampusnacht. There's a lot of German words, so you're going to have a lot of fun with this. So in a lot of these stories, they show up on December 5th, and we always think of Santa coming on Christmas Eve so that we wake up on Christmas Day. But back in those days, we had a St. Nicholas Day, which was actually observed on December 6th. So... for whatever reason, we moved Jesus's birthday. I have no idea, but St. Nicholas Day is like an actual European holiday called the Feast of St. Nicholas.
Okay.
So I guess Jesus's birthday is one holiday, and this is like another holiday.
Okay.
So Krampus comes the night before St. Nicholas. If you were a good kid, you got to celebrate the Feast of St. Nicholas, and if not, you were burning in hell. I mean, it's pretty simple, guys.
Good kid, bad kid.
So, while St. Nicholas rewards children with presents, back in those days, really wasn't that great. It was like fruits and nuts and shit. Mm-hmm. Krampus will beat you with branches and sticks, and like I said, in some cases drag you to hell, and in some cases he has a hefty appetite and will just straight up eat your ass. I mean, not eat your ass, but like eat you. Krampus will swallow your entire body for dinner. How's that?
Okay.
Yes. So it's said that kids are to awaken with gifts or injuries. Like, you will wake up with bruises and lesions.
You'll probably wish you were dead.
Right. Or you just be gone. So.
Right.
Let's see here. Krampus. So, again, back in when this first started, it was an urban legend. It was through storytelling. But we hit the 1800s where Krampus takes a bit of a boost. So, late 1800s, they invented the postcard. And that's what people sent around as like holiday greetings. However, Krampus specifically was very popular in the postcard world.
Oh.
Especially Austria and Germany, but, and it had typical images, kind of like the picture you showed, Krampus putting kids in bags. Wow, that was a good word. Krampus beating people, things like that. But Krampus also had some other devious acts displayed on these postcards. He was shown proposing to women. It was almost like some weird sexual fetish, or him posing inappropriately. Can you hear my dog?
Yeah.
Rogan. Hey, Rogan, shut up. Or Krampus is gonna come and get you. Oh my gosh. Rogan. Wow. Okay. Moving on. So these postcards show women in inappropriate positions with Krampus, and it was said to be like some sort of like devious fantasy. But it would also sometimes portray Krampus as a woman humiliating or beating like grown men. So
whoa.
Yeah. And
that takes like a huge turn.
Yeah, and this is in the 1800s where, you know, we haven't gone through women empowerment quite yet.
Or women's rights, like at all.
But it would display men who are like smaller or emasculate, and these women were portrayed as Krampus, who is obviously very large and bulky and dangerous, and they would either be like torturing them or like humiliating them. Like they were humorous cards.
Wow.
Yeah.
How crazy.
So
I'm going to look that up.
Yeah, definitely. There are some interesting ones, especially showing Krampus as a woman. It's terrifying. So, Krampus has been banned many times, like by entire countries, because he is obviously an evil symbol. So in Austria, which is where it originated, he was banned from like the 1930s to the 1950s. This was done by the current regime. Get it together, Cadence. Regime. And by what they call the Christian Social Party. So I'm guessing they've got an entire branch that's like Christian based, and they said, no, you're taking away from Santa, who's also a lie, but you know, can't have more than one lie.
Right.
So then, because postcards were so popular still in 100 years later, they sent out postcards, quote, saying Krampus is an evil man. So I guess that worked.
Okay.
Krampus was...
Ooh, yeah, I see this.
Does it show one of the women one?
Yes. Okay, so you can see it shows like a woman.
Yeah.
Like holding back another man and a man on her back.
Yes, in the basket.
And like you can see like the tongue and all that.
And these men are shown like to be significantly smaller. Like there's definitely some symbolism in there. Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
And she's got her chain and her whip.
Crazy.
Yeah. So very interesting.
Yeah. For those of you that don't watch the YouTube, you should definitely look these up.
Yeah.
I just looked up Krampus woman and you can see. So crazy. All right. Continue.
Yeah. Very, very strange, especially for the time. So, ban in Austria. Then, and so obviously he's back. That only lasted for a couple decades, and then they were like, no, we love Krampus and we want to teach our kids a lesson, so they brought Krampus back. Krampus was also banned.
Kids.
So refreshing. Krampus was, this is ironic, banned by the Nazis. So the Nazis,
Wow.
I mean, the great reputation they have, they were like, you know what, this is a little too much for us, and it's pagan.
Too much?
It was because it was pagan.
Oh, okay.
They were like, no, we're banning Krampus right alongside the Jews. So I just found that to be so funny. I'm like, of all the things that Nazis did, they were like, and while we're at it, we're taking away Krampus. So,
Right.
Krampus is actually probably a bigger deal now than ever. Obviously, a ton of movies have come out. But in Europe especially, they have celebrations of Krampus like we do Santa. So Krampus, like, meetings and
Wow.
photo opportunities. But what's amazing, and I highly, highly recommend everybody Google the video of this, is the Krampus Run. So...
The Krampus Run.
Krampus Run. It is terrifying. It is like a haunted house in the street. So everybody gets sloshed. It's an adult activity. Kids are there. Like, I could not believe kids are there. And they parade the streets, terrifying. Like, people go to watch.
Oh my God.
Yeah. They dress up in what they think of their version as Krampus. So it's all these, like, the scariest demon-like costumes I've ever seen in my life. Yes, that. Boom.
Ew.
Yep. And there's usually, like, the picture she just showed, there's usually people dressed as Santa, too, because that's his accomplice.
Oh my God.
And they just go up and down the streets, drunk out of their mind. Oh, I know. And when you watch the
With
video,
the kid.
yeah, when you watch the video, they have like metal knee
Oh my
pads,
God.
and they'll like slide down the street with these metal knee pads, which send like sparks into the air, and it makes all these clanging noises. They take chains and they're like banging them on the streets. They'll have
Oh
like,
my God. Sorry.
who has their phone on? Who's got their phone in class?
It's my eye drop alarm.
Oh yeah. Everybody pray for Alexa's eye. She's going blind. So,
Shut up.
but it's just a parade of demons, basically.
How?
And on top
scary.
of that, everyone is wasted. So,
Right.
basically what I'm saying is I want to go. But yeah, and like, kids aren't scared. Like, they literally are watching this like it's a Christmas parade.
Laughing.
Also.
I mean, that kid that was being held, by that guy dressed up like a demon, he was laughing,
Yeah.
like having the time of his life.
And we're not talking like spirit Halloween. We are talking like full prosthetics, people on
Yes.
stilts, like these massive furs and like real chains and weapons. Like, it is terrifying. And the videos are amazing. And this is celebrated during the Christmas season.
Wow.
So all around them are like
That
these
is
like
so crazy.
Christmas decorations, and then Krampus.
And then Krampus.
It's-
Yeah, it says, in this activity, which often involves alcohol, people dress as creatures. They parade the streets. They scare spectators and sometimes chases them.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, the videos
Oh my
are
God,
amazing.
that's great.
Yes.
Okay, I think we gotta go.
I know.
We gotta go.
I've always wanted
Like,
to go
one
to
year,
Austria
I want to go
anyways.
see it.
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Let's do it.
For the history
Yes, I want to
Okay.
stay like
after COVID.
on the hillside, like in one of those coves they have where there's all these like colorful little
yes.
cottages. Love it. And then on the back side of
Yes.
these beautiful cottages is a Krampus parade. It's perfect.
Right. It would be perfect.
So there's also this thing called Krampuslof, and I could be saying that wrong, but as I'm sure many of us know, for Santa, you set out milk and cookies. Krampuslof is what you set out. It's a schnapps drink that you leave out for Christmas or for Krampus. So Santa likes milk
Alcohol.
and cookies. Krampus likes alcohol.
Krampus. All right.
Yes. So that is basically the story of Krampus. And really, there's not a whole lot of deterring from the story. They have set that shit in stone. But there's a bonus feature in this episode. We are going to talk about two other scary versions of St. Nicholas that when you Google
Okay.
Krampus, you know, there's, again, all these really weird dates. And they're like, well, do these coincide? Are these versions of Krampus or Saint Nick? And so we're going to get into two of those. The first being Bellsnickel. Have you ever heard of Bellsnickel?
I have not.
Okay, great. So Bellsnickel is referenced in an Office episode. Dwight dresses like him. It's season 9. The episode's called Dwight Christmas. He kind of is dressed like a hobo, and I'm sorry if that's offensive to people. It is what it is. So Bellsnickel is a crotchety, fur-wearing, like old haggard man. Nothing like fancy at all. Sometimes wears like a mask, and by mask I don't mean like what we now know as a mask. I mean like a almost like a turtleneck sweater mask.
Okay.
He also has a long tongue. He's ragged and dirty. He carries a switch, which is also used to beat naughty children. However, Bellsnickel will give out cakes and candies and nuts to kids that have been good or well behaved. So Bellsnickel kind of has a good side to him. Again, it's German folklore. Bellsnickel does not accompany Santa. He does all of this on his own. He's like, listen, if I'm going to give you cakes, I'm also going to beat your ass if you weren't good. This came about like in the 1800s, so it is a little later in time than Krampus.
Yeah.
It was super popular when Germans migrated over to Pennsylvania. So it is more on our side of the turf, but Bellsnickel keeps tabs on you, kind of like Santa. He will visit homes prior to Christmas to check up on your behavior. So this old, scary, dirty man comes to your home and he's like, hey, have you been good this year? It's traditional that he visits your houses 1 to 2 weeks before Christmas. And again, it says often created fright because he always knew exactly which of the children had misbehaved. So basically, he like kept tabs on you. He would know if you've been bad, and you would know that you've been bad, and then he'd show up and kind of like remind you and threaten you
that you've been bad.
Get your shit together because Christmas is in 2 weeks.
Wow. And if you don't, I'm beating your ass.
And I'm taking back my cakes and candies and nuts, which are better than Santa's gifts of like fruits and veggies, in my personal opinion. So these visits would include him showing up at the house and like beating on the doors and windows so you would know he was there. And then these children, which I'll drink in a minute, would have to answer a question for him, which kind of reminded me of our Christmas goblin. They would have to like answer like a riddle question or sing him a song, I guess, for his personal enjoyment.
Ooh.
Kind of creepy.
Pedophile like.
Yeah, so if he liked the answer to his question or if he liked your song, he would toss candies onto the floor. Okay, so here, we're setting the scene. So you just sang your song and you're like, oh God, did I do good? He would toss candy.
Yeah.
So what would be your initial reaction?
As a child?
Yes.
To go and get the candy.
Yeah, well, guess what? You're fucking done. Because
shit.
greedy kids reach for the candy first. So if you immediately pounced on that candy, you got your ass beat.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so you would get struck with his switch if you were the first to jump. So you'd have to wait and like kiss his ass, and then he'd be like, okay, you can take the candy now.
Oh my God.
Yes. So this was a little excerpt written by Jacob Brown in 1830, some sort of author or whatever. And it says he was known as Kris Kinkle, Bellsnickel, and sometimes as the Christmas woman. I don't know why that. Children not only saw the mysterious person, but felt him, or rather his stripes upon their backs with his switch. The annual visitor would make his appearance some hours after dark, thoroughly disguised, especially in the face, which would sometimes be covered with a hideously ugly fizz, generally wore by a female garb, hence the name Christmas woman. Oh, there we go. I guess I should have read my own notes. So sometimes it would be a veritable woman, but with masculine force and action. He or she would be equipped with an ample sack about to the shoulders filled with cake, nuts, and fruits, and a long hazel switch was supposed to have some kind of charm in it as well as a sting. He would scatter the goodies upon the floor, and then the scramble would begin by the delighted children, and the other hand would ply the switch upon the backs of the excited youngsters, who would not show a wince, but had it been parental discipline, there would have been screams to reach a long distance. So Merry Christmas!
How creepy.
Yes, so that's Bellsnickel. And the last, and this is kind of a shorter one, but an interesting one. This really dives into St. Nicholas's past. I am probably going to say this way wrong, but...
Try it. You got it.
Necht Ruprecht? Anyways, that means or is translated somehow either to farmhand Rupert, servant Rupert, or farmhand Robert. We're going to call him farmhand Rupert because that was the most popular. So he is a partner of St. Nicholas, and it is said that he was actually raised by St. Nick as a farmhand. So I guess somewhere up in the North Pole or wherever St. Nick was back in those days. Again, Germans are great at their folklore. German folklore. This appears in the 17th century. And again, this kind of sounds like it was really popular in the Christian tales because of the association with St. Nick. So he, again, like all the others, will threaten to beat or harm disobedient children. Like, there's no upside to these people. That's what I love. It's just all bad.
And I feel like every Christmas story, the children suffer. Like,
they do.
It's always them.
They suffer. They are threatened. It's a great time for them.
Yep. Right?
So, farmhand Rupert wears a black or brown pointed robe. So if you Google pictures, he definitely looks like he's part of the Ku Klux Klan. He walks around with a limp due to childhood.
I gotta look this up.
Yeah, it's scary. So he walks around with a limp, and it's said to be due to an injury on the farm, more than likely caused by St. Nicholas. So good old St. Nick comes back in for the win. Farmhand Rupert carries a tall staff. He carries a bag of ashes. And sometimes little jingle bells, just to get everyone in the holiday spirit after he beats the living shit out of you. He sometimes rides a white horse. He is accompanied by fairies, or, you can sometimes get the pretty little fairy tale creatures, or you can get men with blackened faces dressed like women. So...
Why? What in the world?
Great question. Maybe it's a matter of, like, if you're good, you'll see the fairies. If you're bad, you'll see the scary blackened. And it's not, like, black painted faces. It's, like, blackened. So I'm guessing, like, burned faces.
Well, this is what... I found this, but it's obviously like a drawing.
Yeah.
Like somebody drew that.
Yeah, let me see it. So when I was finding articles, it literally looked like a wizard's cloak, except a really tall pointed hat with like a staff. So, definitely a little scarier than Bellsnickel. So, farmhand Rupert, this is his process. First, we'll ask the kids, which I knew my drink was going to run out, so I prepared with a Sonic Seltzer. I love these. He'll first ask the children if they can pray, which I thought at first it was, do you pray? Like, are you religious? No, it's if they can pray. So, Interpret that how you will. If they say, yes, I can pray, they get apples, nuts, or gingerbread. If not, he will beat the kids with his bag of ashes.
Kids.
I find that picture... Listen, I'm not for child abuse, but that's hilarious.
I know. What in the world?
And wouldn't ashes be soft? I guess not, because like real ashes, like human ashes, or I guess
kind of get like rocky.
They're like rocks.
Not human, but ashes in general.
Like
they get
living
kind of rocky.
things. Ashes are like rocks. Like so. Yeah, I guess that would suck.
Wait, how do you know how human ashes feel?
Well, okay, not to take a dark turn. I know what animal ashes feel like. So I'm assuming it's related.
It's similar.
Which I will say this, and again, I don't say this to like take the mood down, but when we cremated our dog, I was expecting the ashes to be like black and flaky, like if you burn paper, and it was like white rocks. It was white. Yeah. Why is it white?
Yeah. I don't know.
Do they bleach them? Maybe the bones.
Or the bones.
Anyways, I found that to be...
Yeah, that's kind of strange.
Very strange. And then when we spread the ashes, his little brother Rogan ran right through them. So he was covered in ashes. It was a great experience. Definitely took away like all of the sadness and replaced it with frustration.
Right.
So,
right.
Anyways, kids will get their ass beat by a bag of ashes. And on top of that, they will receive coal. So we're guessing that's where Santa's coal came into play.
Came from.
Or sticks and stones. So, like, here's a bag of rocks and twigs for Christmas.
Yeah.
So there's a bonus with Farmhand Rupert. Not only do you get terrible gifts and your ass beat, he will gift your parents with something to beat you with for the rest of the year.
Perfect.
So he will leave like I forget what it's called, like a bundle of twigs. There's a name for it, or like some sort of switch to beat you with for the rest of the year in hopes that you'll do better next time.
Oh my god.
Oh yes. So I know this is a short one, but they really, especially with Krampus, they're like, no, this is what it is. Yeah. This is what we've got.
Right.
This stuff is amazing visually.
Yeah.
So please, guys, go and...
So fascinating.
Go Google these people. I cannot stress how, especially with Krampus, how involved it was even with religious organizations like Christians.
Yeah, or Catholicism.
Yeah, well, it's not really surprising with Catholics, but...
Oh, no, not at all.
Well, and to be fair, before people just like, rally, we're also talking about Catholics, like, before modern-day Catholics and...
Modern-day Catholicism.
We're talking back in the day where Catholics did some shady shit. Like, worse than what we know today.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
So... that is the story of all of the
Krampus.
Evil, demonic, scary versions of Mr. St. Nicholas himself.
That is so crazy.
I think it's...
I mean...
Oh, go ahead.
But we should, like... I feel like we should be telling kids the story of Krampus.
Oh, hell yeah.
So that way they are good. Because if you tell them, like, you're going to get coal, like, okay... like, they don't care.
Well,
even though they do, but they don't.
We tell kids that if they're not... Oh, shit. We have said kids. We tell them from the time they're old enough to learn that if you're not a good person, you'll go to hell.
Yeah.
If you're not a good person, we'll beat your bottoms. And all these other things. So, like, why don't we tell them about Krampus? Why did Western society say, yeah, we're gonna We're gonna nix Krampus.
Yeah, we're not gonna do this.
We're just gonna stick with Saint Nick because it is in full blown speed in European countries.
Right, right.
So I'm like,
I think we should bring it back.
Let's bring it back.
I agree.
It's funny too. So I'm too afraid to watch like the Krampus movies because while I know they're spoofs, they like I'm just like no, I'm not gonna risk it. But during the Christmas season, Nick and I make it like a priority to watch Christmas movies, and he's like, "Well, you're gonna be covering Krampus, so I think it's time we watch the movie." But he found so there's like a really modern day one. It's got the guy from Step Brothers in it. I forget his name, but it's more of like a spoof-like version.
Okay.
And so we were looking for that, but he found some like old school Krampus, like B-rated movie.
Wow.
It looked hilarious, but it looked like I'm not going to be able to sit through this. It's so dumb. So we didn't watch it, but I think now I'm going to. But then
you should.
I was like, Nick, I know there's one that exists that is super new. It came out within like the past 5 years or something. I don't know, maybe. And we found it. And in the trailer, it also shows, it's not just Krampus. It's like other demons that haunt the house. And so then I was like, never mind. Never mind.
Yeah, you're like, abort.
I was like, I don't want to
abort mission.
I don't want to watch it. You know, I'm tired.
I can't do it.
It's time for bed.
I'm tired. I'm tired.
So,
oh my god.
yeah, but I invite everyone else to give me the Spark Notes. Let me know how it was.
I think you should still watch it, but
I mean, maybe one day when I'm feeling real confident, and then I'll
on our girls' trip.
Oh my god, let's do it!
Okay.
Yes, in the mountains when it's snowing.
Yeah.
Also,
in the middle of nowhere.
This is one thing I left out of the story, but I just remembered from my fandom. Okay, so you know, there's the silver bells associated with Christmas and Saint Nick, and like I know the Polar Express made that really popular. But Krampus carries like a black metal bell. And it's not like the thin silver metal bells. This is like an iron.
A cowbell?
No, it's shaped like a Christmas bell. So let me find it. But it's like a cast iron black metal bell. Krampus bell. Oh, I guess it has a certain sound. Anyways, you can buy these for like $90.
You should. Can you play the sound?
Maybe if I can find it. Hold on. So here's like, oops, that's the bell.
Okay.
I just saw where it said play Krampus. Okay, bell sound. Let's see if I can. Krampus bells. Okay, I'm gonna take my headset off here for a second. Oh my god, this is scary. Can you hear it? That just sounds like Carol of the Bells. Krampus bells?
Yeah.
Hold on. Okay, let me try to find some.
Either way, that's...
Still, that was a terrifying...
creepy.
Okay, Krampus bell sound. Oh, I guess there's like a Krampus Carol of the Bells. Hold on. Krampus bell ringing. Let's try this one. Of course, there's an ad. Hold on. Good thing in this episode we've got some time to play with. So it's just like hefty.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's so scary looking. Okay, anyways, so I guess that's a thing too.
That's it.
But I saw that you can buy those like on Etsy where they're like actually like branded. Sorry. Please stop the scary music. They're like branded
with Krampus,
you know, like
on it or something.
Yeah, they're branded with Krampus. They're that thick black iron material. So I want to get one for my tree.
Wow.
What if we just have a tree decorated with Krampus bells?
Might as well. I mean, why not?
I mean, Lord knows I ain't been good this year, and I'm probably not going to be good next year. So, come on in, Krampus, or Bellsnickel, or
Bellsnickel,
or the other one,
Farmhand Rupert,
yeah, Farmhand Rupert, Perchta, which
Perchta
comes up a lot when you Google.
Oh, I bet.
Perchta, I guess, is really popular.
Yeah.
I have Croncocola
Like
stuck in my head, but yeah, Perchta. Anytime I was Googling Krampus, it was like Krampus along with Perchta and Bellsnickel, and I was like, oh, I know who that is now.
The trio, the three amigos.
Yeah. God, can you imagine if they all three showed up? I'd be like,
Oh my
y'all,
gosh.
this is too much.
You're definitely, you're going to hell. You're dying.
Yeah.
Say goodbye. As my mom says, bend over and kiss your ass goodbye.
Love
because you're out.
Love that. That's my motto that's my like sayonara to 2021.
Right.
Bend over and kiss your ass goodbye.
Yep.
So,
great story.
thanks. I was so excited to tell it. Any final thoughts? Can you give us a sneak peek of who you're doing next? Because I genuinely can't remember. Oh, yeah, because you told me not to look it up.
Yeah, I told you not to look it up, so I'm not going to tell you.
Okay, gotcha. I don't even remember the name, to be honest.
But I will give you a hint. His name is John, and he committed a lot of his murders in Kansas City.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, we are going into a new season of
Yes.
astrology, the
We are.
Capricorn.
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
Yep.
So, any Capricorns out there, get ready.
Yes.
We're coming for you.
We are coming full force.
I'm so excited. So I guess final sign off here before we thank our sponsors and all that blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
This year has been amazing with the podcast.
Oh my gosh. It has.
We hit it hard. We're definitely going to be thinking of some new things as far as exclusive content for you guys, and just to give you a little behind the scenes of when we started this, we did not want it to be a typical true crime podcast. There's a lot of those. So we wanted to set ourselves aside with like the drinking game and the astrology, but also with our title, Something Sinister, we can cover a lot of topics. So
we can.
I think 2022, we're going to get creative with that. I just feel it in my soul.
Yes.
So
Oh my gosh.
it's going to be a good one. I'm so excited.
It's going to be so fun.
The girls are ready. Woo! I'm like distracted in the viewfinder. I'm like, whoa, tuck them in. They keep popping out here.
Boobs are out.
Tits out. Podcast. I don't know. I was just trying to think of something clever. It's not happening. So, sponsor.
Yes. We are sponsored by Color Up CBD. They are a organic CBD company, so they don't use any harsh chemicals in the products that they make. So, their skincare, the dog treats, even their CBD tincture. Use code Sinister20 to get 20% off. You can go to their Instagram, Color Up CBD, or their website, colorupco.com.
Yes, and what better New Year's resolution than an entirely new skincare routine?
Yeah.
You're going to love it. I'm trying to get Nick into skincare, and I'm like, you can start with some CBD.
So hard.
All natural stuff. It's
Yeah.
very little fragrance. It's so easy to use. So
Right.
I gifted a
And the
lot.
fragrance. Right. And the fragrance, I mean, it's like natural.
Yeah.
It's essential oils. It's not
Very earthy.
alcohol based.
Yep. Absolutely. So all lowercase, Sinister20, go use it. It not only helps that company, obviously, but it shows your support of the podcast. So whatever CBD company you use, just drop them. They suck.
Yeah.
Come
Go to Color Up.
Go to Color Up. We know some of the owners, like friend of a friend, so we know there's some good people over there. So go give them a follow and tell them we sent you.
Give them some love.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then our patrons. I have a list here. Let me get that open.
Handy dandy list.
My handy dandy list. I have to say, too, while we're on the subject and we still have a few minutes to spare, that, my God, Julie from Ohio. Julie, wherever you are.
From Ohio.
Your
and whoever you are.
Your support on YouTube is astounding. Julie from Ohio manages to comment on every video and not just like, great work, guys, like puts in the effort to say, hey, I like this, I support this.
Right.
God, I love Julie from Ohio. And
I do too.
Also on that note, Amanda DUH
from Missouri
sent us a private message saying, excuse me, why am I not a VIP? You guys shout me out. And we told Amanda, hey, you know, if you want to be a VIP, that's totally fine. All you have to do is join our Patreon.
Right.
So.
Right.
And then you'll get a shout out. Well, Amanda kind of has already had shout outs, not always for the best reasons, but you'll get a good shout out like these people if you join our Patreon. So Justin, Annette, Adrian, Nicholas, Valerie, Haley, and Angie. These people support our podcast. They get exclusive content. So
they do.
Do as they do and go join our Patreon. You can find that link on our Instagram bio.
Yeah, and I think we still have just a couple more like $5 spots available.
The $5 slot's got a 25-person limit. After that, it's $10 a month, which still is like 2 Starbucks a month. It's still a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
So
great deal.
I did think of one more announcement. Coming in January, we are releasing one of our Patreon exclusive videos to the public. We got to thinking, and you guys really don't know what you get when you sign up for our Patreon. So our Patreons have had this video for a couple months now. I personally love it. It is our drunk. It's a lot. So drunk, get ready with me. Halloween makeup tutorial.
Yes.
We're making that public to you guys on YouTube starting January just as a thank you.
Yes.
That's kind of a teaser to what you get. Like I said, if you become a member, $5-10 a month, you'll get videos like that monthly. So it's
and like we want, you know, not only do we want to share it with everybody, but we want the feedback.
Yes.
Like we want to know what you all think. I mean, of course, our patrons tell us what they love and what they don't love and whatever, but we want to know from the general public what you all think.
Yeah.
So enjoy.
Yes.
It's so entertaining.
We have a few of our followers, non-patron members, who comment, send us messages. We're very, very interactive on social media because we love to. Well, also, we interact with other podcasts. That's also
for sure.
a blast. So we love the feedback.
Yes. Good,
bad, whatever. It helps us to improve, but also just to stay connected with you guys.
Hang on. It's the eye doctor.
It's not funny, but it's funny. So, folks, what's happening right now is Alexa has an issue with her eye. She muted her mic. She is talking to the eye doctor. I probably shouldn't put it out in the world that she's going blind. That probably wasn't a funny joke. But I haven't eaten today, and then drank this much tequila. It was like 2 shots. think she has to have like an MRI. So maybe she's unlocking a third eye and it's taking away from another eye.
You're so fucking ridiculous. I'm like over here trying to have a serious conversation with the fucking eye doctor, and you're like, maybe she's unlocking her third eye.
So what did the eye doctor say? Share it with the people because I don't feel like editing this.
They are trying to figure out when they can get me in for an MRI. So
Great.
fun.
So anyways, that's all that I have for you guys. Happy New Year.
Yeah, happy New
Alexa's
Year.
getting a new eye. Yes. Trying to look cute for you guys, okay? Trying to get the views, okay? All right. Well, stay tuned for Alexa's secret John Smith serial killer.
Jones.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, stay tuned. Stay sinister as always.
Stay golden, pony boy.